Right, guys, so we're back on episode 5 of the Edge podcast. We've got Markus here today. He has a company called Adcademy. We're going to explore it today, get into understand what he does, and hopefully provide a lot of value. I think it's an interesting story. We met last week, didn't we?
Yeah. Thank you for having me, by the way. Thank you
for sure. He's got a lot of value to add to anyone's day, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, right, let's get started with it. Where did you start? Because you've got an interesting start.
Yeah.
And why as well? Why did you think to even start your own little
my business? I come from a really shitty background in terms of financially. Mother's been just always there, incredible mum, but financially we've never had money. So ever since a little kid, I've always wanted to make money.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a case of I wanted to be the best entrepreneur. I wanted to be a billionaire. It was just, I needed money to be able to buy things that I want. Even just little things like just food and shit. We basically grew up in a council estate. Before that, I was born in Latvia. It's an Eastern Europe country. I was born kind of 20, 30 minutes outside of the capital, which is basically just fields and farms and shit. And I lived there till 10 years old, and I moved to the UK, and I was living in a little council estate and didn't have a lot of money. So that's what kind of made me always want to try and find different ways of making money.
Yeah, for sure. So then you started with a Facebook group, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
And let's give a bit of context and a bit of background on what you actually do. What's Adcademy?
Sure. So Adcademy is UK's fastest growing coaching business. We essentially take people who are either just looking to start a marketing agency or who are already running a marketing agency. We help them scale it with different systems. We basically provide the entire plug and play, everything you need from website to actual team members. We can help you source them. We give you all the scripts. We literally give you everything that you need to actually sign clients and start making money online. And you just have to do the work.
Essentially the blueprint.
Yeah, literally that, brother. So that's in a nutshell. That's what Adcademy is. And we have a guarantee. If you join us and you don't sign 2 clients, we give you a full refund. So in my personal opinion, it's I feel like I don't deserve your money because the whole reason why somebody might invest in me is to make money to start a business. And if I can't deliver on that, then what's the fucking point, right?
There's not many people doing that, is there?
Well, I've been fucked over in the past, so it comes from personal experience, and it just felt a bit shit. And also it's always I'm looking at what kind of competitive edge can I have on my competitors, right? And like you just said, no one's doing it because it's a bit of a scummy fucking industry. It's it's very easy to have an online image and I know this and I can help you with this and that, but they actually don't know what the fuck they're talking about, or they don't have a guarantee in place.
And with as well, a bit of context, I can relate to that as well. We've worked with so many different agencies over the years. We've got some good, a good team in place now, but we've been fucked, bro. And it's just money down the drain. It's it's so disappointing when you see 0 return on investment. Mm-hmm. So the fact you can actually offer a guarantee is pretty fucking special, to be honest with
you. You know what it is as well? That the reason why we can guarantee results is because we don't just sell a course. With us, it's actual coaching. The way for somebody who doesn't know the industry that I'm in, the easiest way for you to imagine it is having a personal trainer that actually goes to the gym with you, messages you, motivates you, and is no, one more set, you can do it, right? And is there every single day, compared to a gym instructor that sells you a fucking little program that you follow on your phone and hopefully you get the results. So we're the first option, which is we actually message you every day. We do calls. You get to speak to me personally. It's definitely not cheap. But so that's how we're able to guarantee results.
Do you want to go into that? So what, in terms of pricing, where did you start and what you at now?
Funny enough, so this is kind of going to explain to people how I even got to this whole coaching thing, right? And you mentioned about the Facebook group, and that's how it all started. So I initially started a marketing agency myself. This was probably 2018. I was just doing photos and videos for local businesses. For a bit of context, if you're wondering how I got into that, I went to, in school, I just flunked it. I just didn't revise. I was I just never paid attention. To me, I like to do what I like to do. I really always say this, this is my world, everyone's living in it type shit. I really feel like that. So anyway, I didn't enjoy school. Also, I probably come across a massive dickhead. I'm wearing sunglasses and I just said, this is my world. I have just let me wear my sunglasses, bro. This is one time. So I grew up in a council estate and I didn't have any friends that wanted to do this business with me. And I didn't have anybody to speak to about marketing agencies and this and that. So I started a Facebook group, genuinely, hand on heart, with not the intention of I'm going to make loads of money from coaching. I'm going to da. I just wanted a group of people to speak to about fucking marketing and be a little nerd about it.
Yeah.
And for context as well, this is probably back in 2018, 2019, okay. I started it. And back then, at least not that I know of, I don't think back then there was a whole strategy, because now this is a whole strategy, like create a Facebook group, grow it to like 10,000 members, and then you can sell to people there. Kind of like what people do Discords, like you guys are probably going to do a similar thing. I genuinely just wanted to like network with people. So I started it, and this group grew pretty fucking quick. It went from like 1 member to 2 to 5 to 10 to 100 to 1,000. And it went really, really quick. Because I think it was like that one of the only ones back then. Just the right place, the right time. I'm nothing special. Like, I think I just got lucky in those terms. And how I started to switch from actual running the agency to coaching and consulting was because my face was like the owner of the group, right? I would always get the messages on Facebook talking about, like, can you help me with this? Give me advice on that. And I would do it because, again, that's the whole point of why I started the group, like to help people network with them. And it got to the point where like my marketing agency was doing decent. I was probably doing around £10,000-12,000 a month, like revenue. And so I was pretty fucking busy with that. And then the Facebook group was growing really fast, and I was getting like 20, 30 messages every day asking for advice. And I just couldn't manage the two. And obviously these guys weren't paying me like where I was coaching them, right? Like for free. And I was just focusing on my agency. And I remember this so vividly. This guy messaged me on Facebook. He was like, Markus, I get you're really busy. How much do I have to pay you for you to actually coach me specifically on like a one-to-one basis? I was like, 200 quid? I don't know. So my first student, quote unquote, was like 200 quid. And I'd done like one Zoom call with him like a week. I forgot his name, man. I could definitely find it, but you know who you are. You know who you are. This is like 2-3 years ago. And that's what kind of made me click. Oh, so the thing that I know up here, I can sell.
Yep.
That's pretty fucking easy. Right? That's pretty valuable. So then I kind of got more, and then I actually started promoting it, saying like, hey, by the way, like, does anyone else actually want to be coached by me? And long story short, I just, within like 2-3 years, I realized that this is just a way fucking better business model, the coaching. It's way more profitable. It's easier. I get to be myself. Because with my agency, I was working with lawyers and law firms, and obviously I had to wear like a suit or a shirt, and you know, I couldn't swear and this and that. Whereas with this, I can look like a dickhead drinking a beer. It's great, right? So that's kind of how I got into it and everything.
And I think the thing is that probably helped it was like actually truly organic. Like there was no intent from you to actually, you wasn't selling courses from day one. Like there was no pushy sales pitch. Like this came to you like naturally. Yeah. And I think probably people appreciated that, whether they actually realized that they did or not, and just thought, this guy's like a good guy. And it builds trust in you and adds credibility to you, doesn't it? Because you're not like throwing something down the neck on day one. Yeah.
I've always just tried to be as completely transparent and like with my intentions, and like saying, if I want something from someone, I'll say it from the straight away. I don't like it when people message me and they're like pretending to be buddy, and then I know the question's coming, and then like, can you do this for me, or can you lend me this, or da. Like,
no, that's the worst. Like when someone like you haven't spoken to in like so long, and you're like, there's a motivation behind this. There's an ulterior motive here.
Yeah, I get it though.
Yeah, just be straight up.
Yeah, I get it though. I get it. So yeah, man. So that's kind of how I started the whole coaching thing, and I realized quickly, we started scaling it quite a lot. Yeah. And it was just me, by the way, just by myself. I'd probably scale that to about 10K a month, 12, 15K a month, just by myself. But obviously at this point, I'm still running my agency and my coaching business. And then when was it? Oh, fuck, what was the fucking... When was the first lockdown? This was 2020, no, not September, the beginning of the year. I forgot.
I remember we had the like the absolutely fire summer, didn't we? Like the weather was so good.
Yeah, we just all locked down. Yeah. So anyway, so the first lockdown in the UK, actually back then, I was working with car dealerships. So I switched different like industries that I was working with. My last one was lawyers. Yeah, and I was working with car dealerships. Lockdown happened, and all of my car dealership clients went on like pause. They were like, we're just going to pause it whilst this goes over. It didn't. It's funny now that everyone's forgotten about it though, right? It's quite funny. I'd love to talk about it, but your podcast's probably going to get demonetized or some shit, so we're not talking about it. But.
No, we'll go into anything, bro.
Yeah,
for sure, for sure.
Oh my God, I have so many strong points about it. But yeah, so I lost all my clients from marketing agency.
Yep.
So I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I wasn't stressing too much because obviously the coaching business, I was still making some decent money. Yep. But that's basically where I really made the switch, and I was like, right, let me just do the coaching. And to be honest, it's only been as of this year, so it's only been what now, like 6 months that I've actually been fully just doing this. I've always tried to do like loads of different business ventures, trying to do like OnlyFans management, this, that. But like when you have like, when your focus is spread, you can't really do much. Like not everyone's Elon Musk. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So just focusing on education business at the moment.
So have you ever worked a 9 to 5?
Yeah.
What did you do?
My first ever one was at Prezzo's. My stepsister was a manager there. This was probably when I was like 15 years old, probably 15. Just like washing pots and shit. It's so funny. Andre's behind the cameras. You guys can't see him. But earlier today, we're talking literally about this, how I was behind the bar making like fucking cocktails and stuff at like 15 years old. Bear in mind, like I already have like a baby face, but back then I definitely looked like a little fucking kid. And there was people coming up to me like, is this legal? Like you're behind a bar? And I was just like, what drink do you want?
Cut the bullshit.
So that was my first 9 to 5, bro. And that was still when I was in school. I didn't have like this whole entrepreneurship mindset or anything like that. I knew I wanted to make money.
Yeah, so it was like money motivated.
Sorry?
Money motivated at that point.
Like I wasn't in terms of like I knew I needed to make money to look after myself and my family already from a young age. What made me grow up really, really fast. First of all, Latvia is like a place that makes you grow up really fast. Like there's no like fairy tales. Like like, what's the best way to describe it? It's just, there's no bullshit. Do you know what I mean? I don't even know what's the best way to describe. Just go to Latvia and you'll figure it out, guys. But yeah, Latvia is like a pretty harsh place, like at least where I live. Like for context, we didn't even have a toilet in the house. Like I had to literally walk outside of my house to like little thing. We in order to like heat our food, we actually had to put wood in like I guess a furnace or something, and like heat it. We didn't have a kettle. Do you know what I mean? Didn't have running water. We had a well. So just for a bit of context, like that's how I grew up.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, my first 9 to 5 was at Prezzo's. I forgot in terms of like actual order, but I've been an estate agent. My estate agent was my last 9 to 5. Where I started to really understand like work ethic and money and like starting to be like, all right, I'm going to be a fucking millionaire. Was this door-to-door sales job, which is where I met Andre. That was just, it was the best. I think I mentioned to you when I first came.
Spoke about this.
It was the best and the worst time of my life. Like I learned so much, but it was just horrible. But if anybody's watching this, by the way, and you guys, I was thinking about making this story on Instagram the other day. One thing that I really want to do with like my audience or just with my life, I guess, is just try and help as many guys as possible. What I mean by that is like me personally, I've never really had like a dad or a figure. I've had a dad, unfortunately he passed away. But I haven't had a dad technically since I've been like 10 years old. So, and I've got a single mother in it. No brothers, nothing like that. So there's never been like an older man in my life to like tell me like, oh, with girls do this or like with business or go gym. But so far from my life, I'm 23 years old. So far, like when I have a kid, like a boy, it's definitely like I'm gonna teach him to obviously like read. You need to be reading, bro. Like as boring as it fucking is, either read or do audiobooks. Like you have to educate yourself, man. It's the most powerful fucking thing.
Audiobooks are so easy as well.
So
you can
easy,
do
bro.
It anywhere, anytime. Yeah, I love doing it.
Yeah. And like switch fucking Spotify to the audiobook. Like that's what I've been doing in the gym. I just listen to an audiobook. Sure, it doesn't help me get my 1 rep max, but like I work out this brain and work out my actual muscle. So I think if any lads are watching this, or girls, I don't want to be sexist. But yeah, if you're watching this and you want to just better yourself in general, and it's funny because everything that I'm about to say, you're not going to be like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. It's common sense, but people don't do it, which is like, just work out, like go to the gym, just stay healthy, like once or twice a week, just work out. I'm not saying go crazy. Read books, audiobooks, educate yourself. If you're a guy, definitely start like some sort of a combat sport, like boxing, kickboxing. It will build your confidence like crazy. If you're like shy and you think you're an introvert, get a fucking door-to-door job and just put yourself out there. Like it'll help. And just like chat to girls. Like it helps so much with confidence. Like you'll get rejected, but fuck it. Like it's a part of the game. Like, do you know what I mean? I think it's just fun.
No, that's it. It's accepting it's part of the game. Like,
that's literally it.
That was like, I used to probably be someone that was like, I used to think of myself as like pretty introverted, even through uni. Like I was like scared to talk to people and that I was always dead quiet. And now like some of the guys at uni now say to you like, how the fuck have you got your own podcast now? Like where you're talking to people, you're meeting people, but it's like, it literally is just like grow up. Like you've got to accept at some point, you've got to make yourself uncomfortable because you're not gonna grow as a person. And like, that's the biggest thing I've learned is just put yourself out your comfort zone.
Very true.
And it's going to pay off.
And the more times you do it, the more you kind of grow natural.
Yeah, and it becomes natural. It becomes natural. Like, and it becomes second nature.
You know, can I say something about that? Being the whole introvert and what was the opposite, sorry? Introvert. Oh, yeah, an extrovert. So this is literally, funny enough, audiobook that I've been listening to. You know Grant Cardone?
Yes,
the one I've been listening to is Be Obsessed or Be Average. Really recommend it. Like, it just gets you going. Like, it's sick. And one thing that Grant was talking about, and it really made me like click, because before I say this, for a bit of context, I always thought I was naturally an introvert. But when I was doing the door-to-door job, I was actually quite an extrovert because I actually like to speak to everyone. I wasn't shy. But then I got this online job where I was sitting behind a laptop and I was actually, I was speaking to people on Zoom, but it's not the same as in person.
No, for sure.
Right? And I'd done that for like a year, like every single day, just in my fucking bedroom, basically. And I kind of felt shy going out now and like, And what Grant said, he basically said like, if you think that you're an introvert, what it actually is just you haven't actually gone out of your way to speak to a bunch of people. If you do it over and over and over, all of a sudden, 3-4 months down the line of you speaking to people in real life every day, all of a sudden you would not class yourself as an introvert. So I think it's what we think here is how we think about ourselves, right? Yeah. And we can shape fucking reality. This is so fucking true. Whatever you think here, you can make it. Like anything, bro.
No, and this is the whole point of this podcast. Okay. Like, this is what we want. Why wouldn't you want to like chase your dream?
But the thing is, I think most people like would agree that they want this life. They want to travel. They want whatever they want, right? Yeah. So they would agree with us. But I think what people don't understand is actually how easy it is. Yeah, and when I say easy, by the way, for a bit of context for everybody, when I say easy, I don't mean like overnight. That's different. When I say easy is if you just do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over, you just don't fucking quit.
Consistency.
You're gonna get there. You're gonna make it. Right?
It's literally one of our boys like says it all the time. It's like, if you don't quit, you will never fail. Like, and it's just that's what it comes down to.
I swear to God. You know, I say this in the Adcademy as well for my students. I wanna everybody watching this as well right now. Think about the greatest of the greats of anything. Actor, sports, boxing, fucking golf, whatever it is. Think about the greatest of the greats, right? Got it, right? Now, that person right there, how long have they been doing that fucking thing for? Right? Sure, you probably don't have an exact number, but it's probably at least a decade, probably 2, 3, 4 decades. Think how fucking crazy that is.
It's people being absolutely religious with it. Like, it's like relentless like mentality, isn't it? Where if you're consistent every single day and you are going at it full speed, like for me, like I've got like a bit of an addictive personality where once I start with something and I get that's it. It's literally all or nothing. Like, and that's where I think it sort of pays off, and like you formulate the mindset of you can't fail. Like you can't, like, and that's it now as well. Like I understand like if people are nervous to sort of start their own little thing and start a venture up or that thing that they've always wanted to do but never really pulled the trigger. But once you've done it once, you will do it you'll do it a million other times without even questioning it. And that's the thing with us now. Like we're starting different companies, we're looking at ventures, like stuff that I'm not even experienced in. But I'm like, right, I'm gonna go on Google and I'm gonna learn about this shit. Like it's so easy. You can go on Google, you've got the answer to everything. I can learn about the industry. I get everything I want. I can go on YouTube, watch tutorials, documentaries, whatever. Free. Yeah, exactly. Spend a bit of time, and then I'm like, right, let's hop into it and see what happens. Because a lot of it, and I bet you've seen this, is like a lot of it's like just winging it, isn't it? Like and learning as you go, because no one's got the perfect formula. Like you've got to learn, and like everyone's going to approach situations in different ways. Yeah. When you learn what works for you, you've cracked it.
So true. Yeah, everyone's got different ways of doing certain things. Yeah. And when you say about winging it, that's literally all it is when you're starting. Do you think Tiger Woods, when he first fucking hit that golf, first of all, do you even think he hit the golf ball when he first started? Exactly. He might have, to be honest. but you know what I mean? Like when every person that's great in whatever it is, they had to wing it when they were starting out. Sure. They just had to. Sure, there are some outliers, like, you know, it depends on who you look at, but like, people talk about like, but Elon Musk, he had like, you know, his dad helped him, he was wealthy, this and that. Yeah, but he still had to fucking wing it in whatever he was doing when he first started.
For sure.
You know?
And that's, I think people are scared because they're like, I don't know. But it's just about appreciating that you don't know. No one really knows. Like, I struggle to believe a lot of business owners, like, unless you've worked in the industry for years and like you really understand it, but the majority of like new entrepreneurs at our age, no one really knows what they're doing. We just learn as we go and we make it work.
That's literally it. Yeah, you just improve, you adapt. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, right. Okay, what's
next?
Yeah, let me not do that. Yeah, what's next? Let me try this. Let me try that. You know, one thing I just wanted to mention, you know how I just spoke about like Elon Musk and just that example of like his dad helping him, this and that. This is something that I'm also like a really firm believer. Anybody watching this right now, if you come from like a council estate or anything below, like basically if you think that you're in a shitty situation, that is the biggest superpower you could have, right? Because there's only up from there, right? People would always ask me like, oh, but like, how did you like just do it? Or like, how did you have the balls to do it? Or like, how did you put yourself out there? How did you make the YouTube video? I can't do that. To me, it's like, well, what's fucking worse? There's nothing worse. Like, I can't go down. Let me just do it. Whereas I think when people are born in like, in wealth, there is a level that they can go down. They might be worried about it, or they have the safety net, which is like, oh, don't worry about it. Daddy's got money. So if you're watching this right now and you're like either in a council estate or you're in a shitty situation, you don't make a lot of money right now, or you're in a dead end job, use that as your fucking like motivation and actually like take action for it. Do you know what I mean?
And I've probably said this on every podcast, and I'll rinse and repeat again, because it's like the thing that I stand by is it's not a dress rehearsal. We've got one shot at life at the end of the day, haven't we? So why wouldn't you do everything in your fucking power to actually like make your life the best experience you can? Like go do that trip, be flexible, like have those experiences that 90% of the population don't do because they're scared to. And I think like there's no reason for anyone who's at a young age now to like not have a vision. And
it's easier than ever before.
we want to push that and like help people take it up.
But you mentioned this before. It's just actually taking that leap of faith and going, do you know what? Let me just try. Again, behind cameras, you guys can't see it, but my friend Andre is here. Andre, you probably remember in it. So this is when I just was getting him into the marketing agency, right? So I've already been doing it probably for like 4 or 5 months at this point. I wasn't making crazy money. I was probably making like 4 or 5K a month at this point, but I was able to like quit my job and kind of do it full time, right? And I remember speaking to Andre, and Andre was still at an estate agency job at this point. And he was just like in two minds about like wanting to do it, but then like was worried and this and that. And that lasted, I don't know, I can't remember, probably at least a month, maybe even 2-3 months, right? And he would constantly call me and was like, you know, hey, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing great, and he's like, oh, I'm shit job, And at every single call, I was just like chipping away at like the whole idea of like, you're just going to have to commit to it, bro. You're going to have to just try it. If you don't try it, you always will kind of feel like this. And again, if right now, if you're watching this, if you're below like the age of 30 and you don't have a mortgage, you don't have kids and that, this is the best time to try
You're never ever going to get these years back. This is the
unless you're a time traveler. I don't know. Maybe somebody watching this, you never know. There might be some time travelers.
Get in touch if you are.
I'll buy it.
Sell me a course.
So you're 100% right.
And that's it. Like, it's just, like you've got no responsibilities. Like you don't have like, well, a lot of people at a young age, like I know I'm not going to speak for everyone, but the majority of people don't really have someone dependent on them. Like you don't necessarily need that strict income stream. Like you've not got kids that like need stuff. Like why wouldn't you like take the leap now? Like like I said, it's unique. It's the only point in our life we're going to get this. So like explore every single avenue that you can.
Just try all of it. Just try all of them. Jack, can I kind of take a different turn with this podcast? Yeah. And I've never done this before, but I just wanted to just get people to like, okay, so we've been talking about the good side of things, right? Like, yeah, we're making this, we're traveling, and like, you know, we're in a beautiful apartment. It's just, you don't understand how grateful I am to be in a position like this, which is fantastic. Now, for everybody watching this, and I'm sure you guys are probably hyped up thinking like, I'm going to fucking start a marketing agency or research. Can we talk about the negatives of things, right?
For sure.
How difficult it actually is, right? Because the reason why I want to do this is because I mentioned how easy it is like 2-3 times already in a podcast. And I just want to clarify, when I say easy, what I really mean is it's dead simple, right? I probably should have said simple, not easy, sorry. It's very simple to actually make a lot of money, but it's not so easy because there is a lot of bad things that come with it. So I'll just give a couple of like from my personal experience, right? So the marketing agent, well, first of all, before we even speak about that, when you are in that 9 to 5 and you're trying to make that leap of faith, you know, you have a little bit of anxiety comes in because it's like, oh, what if my friends and family find out and then it doesn't work and I feel like a failure, right? Or what if I put on my story or my Instagram or whatever that I'm trying to do this thing and it doesn't work?
I was in that position.
Right. So to people like that, like, trust me, we've gone through it. Me too.
For sure.
Me too. So like, I just wanted to talk about all of these different things that me and you have gone through. So hopefully maybe some people can relate to it.
Yeah. And like I'm glad that you've wanted to sort of take it this way, because with Aftermarket, like if you Google my name right now, I look like a criminal online. Like the majority of the UK people, like from what it seems like, the general public, like would hate me from what they see on like. So we had an article go out. So Sky News rang us and said, this was around Christmas last year, and said, we've got an article on PS5 reselling and consoles. We just want your opinion on it. And so this guy gave me this whole spiel, this whole pitch, and I then basically just did what he asked. We did the telephone call, and he was like, you could tell he was like a passionate gamer, this guy who was like the journalist. And I got off the phone, and I was living at home at the time. I said to my mum, was like, this isn't going to go well, this. Next
he
day,
asked you some like questions that he wants his narrative.
Yeah. And then the next day it went live. I was sat in the car with my gran, and I was like, oh my God. And she was like, what? And like my face had been plastered everywhere. My name was everywhere. Like I didn't even give him permission to use my name. Like I thought it was going to be anonymous. And then Sam behind the camera, like he like manages like my emails. And the amount of shit that we got, bro, like death threats after death threat after death threat. People say like, I hope you get cancer. I hope your family dies. Put a shotgun down your throat. Like and I was like, fucking hell. Like you think I'd be doing like some really horrible shit, and like, but I'm glad that it sort of went that way now, because again, like I said, I was like, I've always been like, felt like I was introverted, and this just taught me to be like, be resilient. Like you've got to get yourself to a point where you make your own decisions, and the consequences, like you've always got, no one's ever going to be happy. Like, and for us, I had to like become really hard faced, and like that's something I wasn't before. At the start, I took it personally. It did affect me. I was like, fuck, like I'm having and then I was, because for me, my whole biggest thing about doing like these businesses at the end of the day, like, and the same with you're helping someone else make money. Your business isn't a shop where you're just taking, like you're helping someone make money. And I've always wanted to have a positive impact. I did it at university. I did like volunteer consultancy. So we did all pro bono work. We was working with like charities in Ethiopia, stuff like that, and I've always wanted to have a positive impact. That's all I want to do. And then I was like, fuck, like maybe have I made the wrong move now? Like,
it makes you question.
For sure. But this is like the thing I had to sort of fall back on was the fact that when I go into the Discord and I see our like success channel, and I'm like, nah, like, and people are saying like, you've just paid for the wedding, you've paid for this holiday, our kitchen's just been renovated from this. Like it's taking away people's pain points. Like, because at the end of the day, like something like a wedding or like buying a new car and something, that's like financially difficult for a lot of people. And if you can ease them with that, like you're improving their quality of life. And that's all I want to do now. But like, I think you've got to go through some sort of adversity, some sort of like bad shit but then you appreciate more what you've built.
100%. And it builds character as well.
For sure.
It builds an extra layer on that.
For sure. Skin. And that's it now. Like for me, like it's like, we still get them, they filter through every so often. People, and I'm like, and this is the thing that like winds me up, bro, is like people will send me hate like on email. They'll take the time to submit a form on the website, write out a massive essay, and I'm like, if you would have been productive with that half an hour you've just spent, like you'd probably be happy with your life. Like you must be seriously like down or something, like to feel this hate towards someone. Like, and this is the thing as well. Like it's the same with like stuff like on Instagram. Like if you like, let's say like someone on Love Island or something. If you go in the comments, they're probably getting slandered. I'm like, who are these people that are giving hate? Like, why would you want to be that person? Yeah. Why would you want to be that person?
Well, here's the crazy thing. The fact that you just mentioned about the whole article thing, I didn't know that, right? So I only know you from, well, I mean, this is the second time that we met, but you seem like a really nice guy, smart, motivated, But this is the crazy thing. It's like online, people see people and hear whatever from this person, and this one person said that this guy done that, and then all of a sudden they have this outlook on people. Exactly. That's why I don't really judge people, bro. Like I will judge you if I see you and you're a dickhead. But it takes one to know one.
If you're wearing sunglasses on a podcast.
Yeah, I was literally going to say it takes one to know one. No, but yeah, but going back to the whole kind of the difficult part of you know of building anything really, and any business. You know, if anybody watching this, imagine if you had to go through, I mean, you probably will never, but what you went through, which is the whole article and shit like that. Like most people that are watching this, they're worried, they're overthinking and worried about picking up the phone and just doing one call, that one sales call. compare that to fucking what you went through, right?
Yeah.
But I completely agree with what you said as well. It takes these things, like, not necessarily like an article, but I'm just saying bad things or like negative things or these harsh things to not only build your character, right?
And it's even like your business fails. Right, okay, you learn from it, you move on.
Yeah.
Like you take that L, but you don't like switch off and then think, right, I'm going, like, right, I'm a failure.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like it should only be motivational.
You know what's really interesting as well that I forgot, I think it was a book that I read it or something, but it's like a common saying anyway, which is like when you see somebody successful or like when you see a win, or no matter what, like the context here is, but when you see like a win, just know that there was more L's or losses in order to get to that win, right? And again, most people don't see that. Most people will see the fucking Lambo. But
and I seen like Gary Vee put like a post on like the other day and it was like, everyone thinks that, like the path to success, straight line. Yeah. But it's not. You're going to be up, down, yo-yoing all over the place. 100%. But as long as your trajectory overall is going up, then you are winning. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter. Like you're going to have to go through the shit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I do this in the Adcademy. If you look at like Warren Buffett's net worth, basically, right? Or even if you look at like, well, the price of Bitcoin's not the best. Price of gold, for example. And you Google like the price of gold and you go max, right? And overall max is the graph goes like this, right? Over time. Whereas if you look at day to day, it will go like this. And
it's a bigger picture.
That's literally, if you zoom out the bigger picture and not only on that, but like in your life
and
as
this
well.
is the thing as well, like, so like when stuff happens, like with our business, like the people I speak to, like my mates are like, how are you not flapping? Like, how are you not stressed out? And I'm like, because at the end of it, it's minor. This is a road bump. Like at the end of the day, like we'll be past it and in 6 months time, we'll forget it's happened.
Yeah.
But I think people need to like, expect that stuff's going to go happen. But when it does, you don't panic. Like you just work it out. Yeah, you'll always, if you're winging it, you'll always work it out.
You know what's really interesting as well that I've realized, the older I get and then the more I'm in this like whole entrepreneurship, the things that me and you stress about or worry about now is like here, right? Whereas like when we first started, we would have the same stress and anxiety, whatever, with little things like this, right? And you just kind of get to a level where it's like for an example, when I first started, to me, the perception of money was quite fucked because I never came from money. I never saw money, right? To me, £1,000 was a lot of fucking money. And I genuinely mean that. Like, please, like I genuinely mean, I never even thought somebody would just send me £1,000 from just me behind my laptop, fucking pressing a couple of buttons. To me, that never made sense, right? And then, and so therefore I charged like £200, right? Like I said, and then I increased it a little bit. For a bit of context, at the time of this recording, it's probably going to be way more like by the time you're watching this, but at the time of this recording, we charged £10,000 to join the Adcademy, right? Definitely not fucking cheap. No. And we get these deals. Like we just got another one for 15,000, but that's because we're going in person to consult this agency. And to me, like, it's just crazy because I'm the same person. It's, sure, the service has definitely changed ever so slightly, but it's the same concept, the same thing that we're doing. But over time, your perception actually changes of money, the value of it, and the value of value, right, that you provide.
I think what you'll do is you'll appreciate the value of your time more. That's something that I learned. Like I used to like, we spoke about this, like you've got a ticket system, in your Discords. We've got the exact same, and people like would ignore our ticket system all of the time and just directly DM me. They'll see I'm the owner of the server. And then I'd realized at one point, like I'd get like probably like 30, 40 messages a day. And when we were having like 20, 30 people sign up, and then so everything, it kept compounding, and it got to a point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like my time, like it's just not worth it. I need to focus on other areas. And I think that's what we learn as we grow in these sort of businesses. We learn actually how to appreciate the value we can bring just from like what's up here.
I always thought this when I was younger as well. It's like, how do these millionaires and billionaires have time to go on yachts and do all this like crazy stuff? But, you know, that's because, like you just said, they value their time to the point where in the business, like certain things, like as an example, when you're starting a business and you want to set appointments or do outreach, right? There's going to be a level where you get to where it's like, it's not worth your time to do that anymore. You have to pay somebody else to do that. You literally learn,
like, you pay someone else to do it, or you turn down the opportunity because the opportunity cost is higher for you to take that on as opposed to directing your time elsewhere. And that's like something that comes up with us. Like people like come to me all the time now, like some of my friends like, oh, can you invest in this? Can you help this? And I'll always support my friends and stuff. But if they want me to start a business with them and be like 50-50 on it, then I'm going to be like, well, no, because I can direct my time better elsewhere. And I think it's then getting to a point where you're confident enough to back yourself and sort of be like, nah, I know what I'm doing. I know what path I'm on. And like, I'm not going to be led astray. And like we said earlier about spreading yourself thin.
You have to focus on that fucking vision.
Yeah.
You know, talking about that as well, I always talk about this in the Adcademy as well. There are stages to, so let me try like, so if you watching this, whatever you want, here's how you achieve it, right? Really fucking simple. So first of all, you need to understand, what do you want to achieve, right? Most people in the world, it might be you watching this, most people in the fucking world, they're basically like, to give you an analogy, right? That's like, most people, this is what they're doing. They basically walk into an airport, shut their eyes, and they're like, right, I'm going to go fucking here, right? And they just end up landing somewhere. Yeah, you're going to land somewhere, but you didn't have a goal in mind, right? Whereas instead you go, right, I want to ticket here, go, you'll land there. So first of all, understand, where do you actually want to get to? What is the goal? For me, ever since a little kid, ever since my pops passed away, I wanted to retire my mum, because I'm the single. So my family is literally tiny. It's just me and my mum now. So I knew I had to do it, and she was a cleaner. So that was my goal ever since a little kid. So cool. All right, got my goal. Pretty fucking hairy goal, but it needs to be like a big fucking ambitious goal. Like if you want like, I don't know, like an Xbox, sure. But you know, it's not really going to drive you. You need something that's like out there, bro. You need something that's out there. So, okay, cool. So my goal is to retire my mum. Okay, how do I get there? And you break things down like backwards. At least this is how I done it. So I was like, okay, so I was in a fortunate position in terms that my mum doesn't have a mortgage. All she had was some credit. And the rent that she pays for, which was like 700 quid a month. So I worked that out. I worked out the credit really sneakily without trying to like let her know. And paid off the credit. And I was like, cool. Okay, so worked it backwards, and I'm like, all right, so now I need cash. How do I get the capital? And then you work towards that. Okay, so total, I need basically, let's just say 100 grand, right? Okay, how do I make 100 grand in how long amount of time? Okay, I want to do it in the next year. Okay, you've got 12 months. How much on average do you need per month? Okay, how much on average do you need per week? Now you have something that you actually strive for on a weekly basis. This is obviously, by the way, for context, this is as soon as like you actually have something that makes money, right? First step is actually figuring out, how can I make money? There are so many ways. You guys literally provide probably one of the easiest ways to make money, right? Which is like, you buy something for X amount, you sell it for twice the price. Cool. Do that 20 times a day, you made a couple grand. Just rinse and repeat that.
Exactly. And you don't have to be highly educated. You don't have to be skilled. You've just got to know how to like you need to know how to put your address details into a website, buy it, and then list it on eBay. Like you essentially, like it's like the most low skilled job ever. Or like it's like for trainers, it's like entering your details to enter a raffle. And like people, this is like one thing. It's like I don't understand it where people like, let's say if you enter a raffle like 30 times something and it takes you an hour to do, but you get that one win and you make 100, 200 quid. For 1 hour's work of the most unskilled labor probably in the world. You just tap it, literally just tap it with your keys. And it's like, and it's stuff like that where you have that, like, I think it's something like 270 something pound. If you make that a day, you've just done over 100k in a year. And like if you actually
just 270
something like that.
A day. Fucking hell. Yeah, that's another thing. When I first realized to make 100k, obviously it's like 8.3k a month. When I deeped it and I was like, is that it? Because before I was like, oh my God, when I heard somebody making 100,000 a year, I was like, what? You make how much? But then you come to, and also again, I might sound like a dickhead when I say 8.3k isn't a lot of money. Like, trust me, once you start reading books, surround yourself with the right people, which is another conversation, by the way, which is literally what's going on here. You need to surround yourself with the right people. That's all it fucking is. Everything in life is people. When you think about Apple, when you think about McDonald's, Netflix, whatever thing you can think of, it's actually people at the end of the day, right? So you need to surround yourself. But anyway, so I was surrounding myself with these right people, and I started to realize how like easy it is to actually make money. Again, when I say easy, by the way, it depends on what you're doing, right? But what's really interesting is the way you teach people to make money is like you said it yourself. It's like it doesn't take a lot of skill. It doesn't take like it's not like well, I don't know. Maybe some people do this for like 10, 15 years. I don't know, but
there will be people in the space that
like longevity,
for sure.
Right?
And that, like what we do now with Amazon, like this is to like, and you've met Jake, so Jake connected us, who was on the past podcast.
Shout out Jake.
You can do this for, like, you can set yourself up for life.
Like,
and that's what like you
and then invest in whatever you actually wanted to do, right?
Exactly.
Same with the marketing agency. I always say this, like most people, 9 out of 10 people don't want to fucking sit behind a laptop and do Facebook ads for the rest of their life. You just make money to do what you want to do. This is the thing,
like he said before, like what's like some of the craziest stuff that you resell. So we were saying about Amazon, like we've been selling like nappy dispensers. I'm going to bet you that every single member that's selling nappy dispenser is not passionate about nappy dispensers.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't give a fuck,
makes money.
But they make the money, and then you go pursue what you want to do.
as long as you make money, you don't fuck up other people's lives, you're sweet. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I was just going to mention this, by the way, talking about kind of what you do and what I do. I think the difference, at the end of the day, we help people to make money, right? But I think there's different ways of doing it. The way I'm doing it, I think is more, correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, but I think from what I'm understanding is like the way I teach people is like really like longevity with the one business. You kind of stick with it and you're really building like an enterprise, right? Whereas maybe with kind of what you're doing is like, you can start today, you can make 400 quid, £1,000 like tomorrow.
Yes, yeah.
With a marketing agency, just for context, ain't no fucking way you're doing that. You could theoretically, but the chances are very fucking slim.
If you're signing your mate up as a client.
Sorry?
If you're signing your mate up as a client, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
You're not really put any groundwork in.
Yeah, right. So yeah, there's different kind of levels to it, right? And there's so many different ways of making money. It's just figuring out like, what do you want to do? Like what's, for me personally, the marketing agency world is very easy to get into because the same as what you said, it doesn't take a lot of skill. It doesn't take a lot of experience. I mean, I started, no degree, nothing like that. No experience. I just started it and winged it. Like we spoke about earlier.
Why did you actually, I wanted to come to this. Yeah. Why did you actually start? Like why was it marketing?
Yeah. So it's interesting as well. The marketing agency, the same as my coaching, it was never a case where I sat down and I was like, right, I want to do this. And I just started it. The way I got into the whole marketing space was very natural because I went to school, just flunked all my lessons. The only one that I actually paid attention to was media, which was like photography, videography, that type of stuff. And I think I got like an A or some shit. So that was the only degree that I actually like paid attention to and like I enjoyed it. So because of that, that's what I done in college. Went to college for just 1 year because I knew I didn't want to go uni, couldn't afford it either. I just did not want to go to school. Like, fuck that. In my opinion, I was like, so you're telling me people are choosing to pay 9 grand to stay in education. What are you doing? But trust me, you're in the Matrix. I get it. Don't worry about it. So bless your little soul. So in my head, I don't know, from a young age, I just knew I didn't want to do that. So I dropped out of college and I just fucking winged it. And that's when I started working at Prezzo. I think in terms of timescale, I might be wrong, but that's when I started. But that's where in college, that's where I learned the skill like photography and videography, and I had a camera. The way I got into like actually like making money from it, which I think was Ben, Ben, right? I was speaking to Ben, which is the videographer behind the camera, guys. Similar story to him. I got into making music videos, right? And the way I done that was one of my boys, because like the council estate that I grew up in, he was just around the corner from me, and he had a music studio like in his apartment, and he would always have like rappers coming around and like make songs and shit. And I was just chilling there like to kill some time, just like hang on with my boys. And long story short, there was a camera there. And this guy just wrapped up a song and I actually was like fucking with it. I was vibing with it. And I was like, let me just shoot a music video for you. Like for free. I didn't charge him nothing like that. And I kind of like enjoyed it. Like I actually enjoyed doing it. And whenever I enjoy doing something, I'll just do it again. So that's kind of how I started like making videos and stuff. But I wasn't getting paid. And my first paid job was my barber. So I was literally just like at my barbershop that I was already going for like 5-6 years, just chopping up like, oh, what you doing? I just done this music video. And he was like, oh, you're doing videos. I was like, yeah, can I shoot an ad for you? Again, wasn't going to charge him, but he was like, yeah, I'll pay you. Fuck it. I was like, all right. I didn't ask him for a price. He just paid me like 150 quid. And then I was like, oh, so you can make money with this. And again, for context, this is probably about 2018, maybe even 2017. So then I started like actually thinking, all right, so I can actually like put myself out there and maybe do this again. And then I was doing like videos for nightclubs. I was filming nightclubs like Saturday, Sundays, and Monday to Friday, I would just pick up the phone and call like every place that I could and just doing like little jobs. I filmed one of my best friends like New Year's party for some reason. I took photos. They're so funny. It was like 250 quid. It was like some wedding that I done. I don't know how they fucking trusted me with it. So I started making money that way. But this was like a creative agency. Again, I didn't know that it was called like an agency or a marketing agency. It was just me with a camera. Can you pay me? Cool, I'll do it. Right. And it wasn't even a sales. Like it was just, hey, I do this. Do you want some of this service? They said, yeah. How much? I was like, how much do you want to pay me? Didn't know anything about business. Right. And going into 2019, that's when I started learning about, okay, so I'm making all these videos for these businesses, like an advert I filmed for their barbershop, but all they would do is just upload it to Facebook and Instagram and they get like 20 views. I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's something you could do that would actually make it a bit better. Like you can actually make money from this. And they're like, oh, we could. And then again, I didn't know about this SMA thing. I just used my own initiative to be like, I'm sure there's something that they could do that would be more beneficial. So then I just tried to like do different giveaways and stuff like for the business. So, they gave me access to their Instagram and Facebook. And then I started charging for that. And then that's when I got the monthly retainers. And then I saw, this was I remember this so vividly, 2019 Christmas. I finished the Christmas, whatever, my family, I was in my bedroom and I was on YouTube and this ad popped up about SMMA. Now this is where I learned about SMA. And they were talking about how you can sign clients for like 1,000 to 5,000 a month per month. To me, that was nuts. I was like, yo, I'm on this. And I was basically already doing it, but just not charging what they said. So yeah, got his course, basically learned about it. And that's kind of how I got into the whole SMA space.
So we were just talking, so another podcast that I've done, and we was talking about how successful this guy is. And like, we've already found out from this, like, because I was saying, I want to recreate this network in Manchester. The London boys have it good, like, but we need it up here. Like you said about surrounding yourself with the right people. This is what we need to do.
That's
like,
what
because at the end of the day, like, and this is like, it's not even far-fetched to say that one day we could have business together. Like in 10 years down the line,
of course.
Like you never know what's going to happen. But if you surround yourself with people that are young, like people are making good money, they've got actual goals and they're motivated, you're going to win. Like it's
just having a conversation, even when you're just sitting there, like, I don't know, even if when you go for dinner or go for a drink or something, it's obvious me and you're going to talk about business at some point, right? So just even that little conversation, like, you know, when I first came here and I sat here and I told you about the growth team idea, the thing that we do, maybe you get that idea and you're like, oh, let me and it becomes something, you do it and it adds an extra 50K to your business, but we just had a conversation.
We've started the build for that.
This is what no, but this is what I'm saying. You need to surround yourself with winning people. And in the Adcademy, actually, I'll give you guys some free fucking advice right here. And this is literally an entire lesson in the Adcademy. I'll just give it for free about networking. So obviously you guys probably hear like the whole saying of, I don't know, I think it's something like you're the sum average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with, right? Everyone hears that, but nobody actually fucking takes action about it. So if you're watching this and you're like, all right, Marcus, I get it, but what can I do like to actually change my network? So first things first, you don't have to necessarily say bye to all your friends and like just ditch them and it sounds bad, but like you do have to, I wouldn't even say it sounds bad. You just have to do it. The goals that you want, you're just going to have to make sacrifices. You do kind of have to distance yourself with people that aren't on the same vision as yourself. So in return, obviously you have to not replace them, but you have to make new friends, right? So how do you do that? So like one example that I gave, think about it, right? So you most likely want to network with other people who have the financial means that whatever the goal that you want to get to, right? So you got to think about what kind of things do these people do? What kind of things, where do they attend? Where do they go? What kind of hobbies are they into? What are they interested? One of the most easiest fucking ones is like car meets, like car shows. I'm not talking your little fucking, sorry if you have a Ford Fiesta. I used to have one, by the way.
JP's got Ford Fiesta. JP in the back.
But when I say car meets, I don't mean like Lupos and Ford Fiestas like modded. I don't have a car actually, so you're better than me.
Yeah, I don't either.
So, but no, I'm talking about like there's free car meets, or even if it's a fucking £5, £10 to get to a car meet where there's like R8s, Lamborghinis. Don't you think if you spoke to every single fucking owner of these Lamborghinis, especially if you're young, if you're watching this and you're young and you actually spoke to these people who are like 40, 50 years old and they see a young guy or a girl talking about, so do you mind me asking, like, what is it that you do? Because I really want to make money. Bro, if you fucking talk to like 50 or 100 people, there's going to be at least one that goes, I really like you. The fact that you're young, I like that. Let me give you something.
2 things on that. First one, Andrew Tate, where he says, I bought the Bugatti just for the network. He said, I want to go to the dinner events. It makes sense. That's if you're accessing like a network at that level, it's the same with me, like with NFTs, with like Bored Ape Yacht Club. Like I just use that as a ticket to network. I've met people that then have helped me with my business. I've learned a lot from people. And it's like, if you put yourself in a situation where you're going to be around high value people that understand how money works and can help you make money, I find as well, people that have got like, when they get successful, like everyone wants to give back. They want to help that young guy. Like,
true.
Yeah, for sure. And so like, so you've just got to, like, you can't even be like, you don't even need to be shy about it. Like these people, like there's so many people out there that will just give back and want to help build someone else up.
Just stand out from the average person that's messaging a successful person about, can you help me make money? Instead, don't fucking do that. Instead, already come with some value. The amount of times that I just get random people just saying like, how do I make money? Or like, what is SMA? Like that actually pisses me off. I had one today. I'll be honest. It pissed me off. I'm like, trust me, just go. I literally said, Google and YouTube. That's all I said. Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, by the way, to the guy, but like, come on, man. Don't ask silly questions. Like, just use your own initiative. Just go on Google and search what is SMA or YouTube, or like, how do I resell? Right?
We was talking, like, I think we maybe touched on this like last time you came round. And this is a perfect example again for people. So when I was at uni trying to get an internship, could not get anything. I started with a guy from the gym who's now locked up for drug dealing. Started with him, networked through like 5 or 6 people. He introduced me to someone in finance. They introduced someone else, blah, 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 blah. Kept building it. And every person I met in that stage was like, I want to help you out. Because I was the young guy getting on the train, going down to London to meet these guys, like, and actually spend time and learn from them. And then that ended up getting me a job in a hedge fund, which like one of the best experiences of my life. But one of the things that they taught me though, and like this is what we're on about, is if you can Google the question, don't ask.
Yeah.
Like that, our value add comes from like the stuff that isn't on Google.
Yeah.
And this is like the thing we're doing with Amazon. Like we're providing stuff that it's not publicly known. It's hard to find out. Like I think if you've got enough initiative where you know to ask the right questions, like you'll go a long way. And if you understand, like when I was like working with my bosses there, these like super, super high net worth people, it's like, you don't want to waste their time. I know how valuable their time is. So you go with the key questions and you don't fuck them about. It's so important.
You know, it depends on the situation. So you're 100% right. The stage that me and you're at, I completely agree. Like to the people that would ask us questions. However, when you're starting out, and it depends who you're speaking to, but to give you a practical example, this is why me and Andre got really, really fucking good at like the whole door-to-door job. Andre, how many questions did we ask every single fucking day? Like we just ask questions like, why this? Why did you do that, by the way? Why did this happen? You need to have like, you know, when a kid is like...
You got to be inquisitive. You've got to ask questions. And that's like...
But like there's a point, right? If you're speaking to somebody at a high level, like there are certain questions that you should, like if you can't find it on Google, and if you spent like at least 10, 15 minutes to try and find it, and if you can't, then fair enough.
The principle's still the same. You're still asking the question, whether you're looking for the information on Google or whatever, or you're asking someone, it's just, if you're inquisitive by nature and you want to learn from everything and you want to learn as much as possible, it's going to pay off.
You know, I remembered one more thing. I remember again when I was younger, I never understood why the fuck would someone pay like 240 quid to go to a gym. Right? Like when there's one like 15 quid down the road. Never understood it. Done it for like a little bit. And simple answer, it's just the people. Obviously the facilities is clean, it's nice machines, this and that, obviously. But one of the biggest bonuses that you get, which most people don't get, gym is probably not the best example because me at least, I do not come up to talk to me when I'm in a gym. Like I just want to chill out, right? But like even if we are talking about a gym, right? The caliber of people that are going to be there, right, paying 240 quid compared to a gym down the road that's paying 15 quid, they're going to be different. There's going to be probably entrepreneurs. There's going to be some people of high level net worth, and it's just natural. If you keep going there, you're going to start a conversation.
You show your face.
Yeah.
You just be present.
That's it. Same as like restaurants, nightclubs, right? Again, when I was first starting to make money, I never understood why would somebody go to one of these luxury bougie nightclubs when the one down the road is like literally not even half the price, like quarter. But then again, in a nightclub, it's like the caliber of people that go there.
And this is like one thing for us, like that. And this has been massive for me, like since moving to Manchester. Like, we've like us, like our friendship group, like we go like clubbing a lot, but the amount of opportunities that have come from that, and then the way it's built my network has been incredible. Like it's when I look back on it now, it's worth every single penny 100%. Because it's just like I've now got relationships with people that I couldn't have ever imagined, and it's literally just come from being in a club with them. Like it's
so true.
Yeah, for sure. And you've just got to put yourself out there. It's just showing your face, and like you said, it's if you are introverted and stuff, just put yourself out your comfort zone a little bit.
You have to, man. Over time, you just become that confident person that you think,
and you'll realize it's happening.
That is literally it.
It's organic.
Yeah, it's the same. You know what? I always I was going to say it's the same as gym, right? I always say I always use the analogy. Everything normally is pretty much the same as gym. Like when you go to the gym for the first, like use Arnold Schwarzenegger for example, right? Do you think when he went to the gym for the first time, he picked up like fucking 50 kg dumbbells and just started curling them? Obviously not, bro. Like he had to start off somewhere small and build his way up. Like same as me. I remember this so vividly. The first fucking time I went to the gym, I could barely curl. I think it was like 7 kg dumbbells. I could barely like fucking curl them. But you just do it over and over every single day over a course of like 3-4 years, and you just get stronger and stronger. everything is the same. Your brain, your memory, your skill, your vocabulary, like everything, your skill of talking to people, like business, everything just gets better and better over time.
It's consistency.
But I think people quit too early. I think quitting is like, oh, if you're a quitter, fuck you, do not talk to me.
The gym is like the perfect example because you're not going to get your results overnight. It's the same with a business.
Exactly.
But if you stay religiously consistent to it, you're going to see the dividends one day.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on quitting?
I'd never ever fucking do it. Like, ever. Like, and this is the thing with me, like when I was at university, bro, like I was like a nerd in terms of like revision, studying. I was just like, I'm here for a reason. I don't want to party. Like I want to leave with first. I want to do the best I can whilst I'm here. Like why I'm paying so much money, why the fuck wouldn't I be here? Like why wouldn't I be present? Like some of my boys like never, even like final year, like didn't go to a lecture once. Like, and I can understand like not everyone's got the same mindset, but for me, it's like, it's all going to this quitting thing. It's like, I wouldn't let myself get into a position where I'd even contemplate it. Like if you stay, like, I feel like if you're like, I think it's probably like the addictive personality sort of thing.
I was literally about to say, I was just waiting because I remember you mentioned earlier, you're the type of person when you do something, you're all in.
Yeah, it's a million miles an hour or nothing.
Yeah.
And
you have to be like that.
Yeah. And then the sort of like on the quitting thing, it's when I like started Aftermarket, I was like, right, I might make money for a summer and then I'm going to go into my internship. I'm going to do this. And then you just keep building. Bad stuff happens. Like in the first few months, maybe it wasn't so good, but you don't, like, if you don't even see quitting as an option, you're never ever going to fail. Yeah. Like that's how simple it is.
Didn't I say this the first time I came here? I think I might have mentioned it. I've never had a plan B. I've never had option two. I never, like, it's, maybe call me crazy, but like it's worked fucking for me so far. I always am the same as you, bro. When I do something, I get obsessed with it, and I do everything in my power to be the best at it. I'm a very competitive person. You have to be. It's funny, like we were joking about it, but Andrew Tate, like he talks about this all the time. Just being as a man in general, it's a very fucking competitive life that we live. For sure. Everything is a competition, especially in business, right? Yeah. So you have to be the fucking best. And even if you're not, you have to think that you're the fucking best. Because if you don't believe that, you won't actually get to be. This is
like on the thing like earlier we was talking about like even like girls and whatever, like you've got to portray yourself as a high value man. Like if you're confident, you back yourself, whether it's trying to get a girl or trying to run a business. If you act like you know the setup, the dance, like it breeds success. Like everyone, if someone reads the room, they're like, that's the guy with success. And that's what you want to build up, and like everyone can do it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, confidence, I think, I mean, we kind of touched on it earlier, but it's just over time, you get more confident the more you do things, the more you put yourself out there. Talking about putting yourself out there, I think most people as well are so stuck in their comfort zone. Comfort zone, I mean, I'm sure most of you guys know what it is, but, comfort zone is essentially when you don't feel that sense of your heartbeat's going up a little bit, right? Anything other than that, you're in your comfort zone.
I've got the perfect situation to refer to here. So putting yourself out your comfort zone, like I said earlier, like felt like I was introverted a lot when I was younger. So I used to compete in natural bodybuilding, and I was like, I was super shy. Like, and I was like, right, at the end of the day, what's one thing that's going to make me grow? Because I was obsessed with bodybuilding. Like, I like the gym thing. I take everything to the extreme. Like when I do it, if I'm dieting, I'm straight to the point. Like, and I was like, well, if I'm nervous about being in front of people, like I can't get any worse than being stood in a pair of trunks, posing on a stage. I was like, it doesn't get any worse than that. Like that was the most nerve-wracking experience of my life. But I come off it, like, and I felt like a different person. Yeah. And that's what you like. I feel you obviously don't have to take it to that extreme, but you put yourself out your comfort zone. Yeah. You have to just take action. Just take action. That's what it comes down to.
I think you have to do every now and then something that is really outside your comfort zone that you feel like you probably, this is a huge thing. Everybody watching this, and including like everybody in this room, there's got to be at least one or two things that at the back of your head that you should do, but you've just been delaying it for a while. That one or two things are probably the things that are going to have the biggest like catapult in any. It depends on what it is, right? But it's most of the time those things that you are like unsure about or whatever you're scared of, fucking do it. That's going to be the most fun thing in life, bro. And life is so short as well. Life is so short. Like you can literally die tomorrow. Ain't that fucked? Ain't that crazy? I think what it is as well is once you actually realize that and you're not scared, I think most people, what it is they're scared of like, again, I think, and this kind of ties in everything that we've been talking about, right? I think what it is people care too much about other people's opinions. The way how you can get over that is by just realizing we're spinning around on a fucking rock. I don't even know if it's circle or it could be flat. Who knows, right? But we're all going to die. We're all here for roughly about 80 years or so, and 60 years, like the average age, right? Whatever. We're all going to die. So who actually cares, bro? You can have like, for example, let me give you a perfect example. Maybe you didn't. But when that article fucking got released for you, at the moment when like you found out about it, did your heart sink and did you think, right, this is it, I am fucked, I'm never going to be able, like for a second, I'm never going to be able to do anything like that again? I've had moments like this. I mean, I can't pinpoint, but I've definitely had moments where like something has happened. I'll give you an example. A client wanted a refund. A client wanted to, this was early in my, I mean, it's definitely like maybe not like as deep, but like a client asked for a refund and wanted to quit. At that moment, I was like, oh my God, I have fucked it. Like, I can't do this again. I'm losing money. Oh my God, I'm stressing out. And then over time, you're like, doesn't matter. Who fucking cares? I'll just get another client. Like, refund him. Fuck him. I'll just get another client. Yeah.